Good afternoon, everybody. On this Hump Day, Wednesday, August 6, 2025, I got all your stories for your rush hour ride home. Lots to get into. They're considering putting a nuclear reactor on the moon. We're going to hear what Neil deGrasse Tyson has to say about that. And a zoo is catching flack for this new form of lunch they want to give the animals. And then we have more on Blake Lively. We're going to get into what the Page Six reporters have to say about Blake. Is it a character assassination? Well, I guess not if it's true. And then more on the town hall that left Representative Mike Flood in shambles as his audience in his demographic is revolting against his talking points. That, and then we've now got the consideration by the federal government to arrest the Democrats who fled Texas in order to avoid voting on a stolen election. Wild time to be alive. These stories and more starts right now on The Rush. And again, we have our teacher wish list. Today we are shouting out Kathy from Oklahoma and Armin from North Hills, California. Kathy's an elementary music teacher with 430 students, and she's got music teachers can always use a little help. So these links will be available in the description of this video or podcast. Armin is a special ed 6th to 8th grade teacher. Says, I appreciate any assistance. We're here for you guys, so if you want to donate to those wish lists, the gifts go directly to the teachers in need. All right, let's dive into some bizarre stories here. We've got a zoo under fire. Have a listen to this.
To check the pulse, and we begin with a shocking story from Europe. A zoo in Denmark is asking the public for donations.
Shocking is right. They're not asking for money. Instead, the zoo is asking for people to donate unwanted small pets to feed to the lions and other predators. The Aalborg Zoo says it's trying to mimic the natural food chain.
It's asking people whose pets are near the end of their lives to donate them, and they'll be, quote, gently euthanized. The zoo now facing sharp criticism. Next, a movie...
I got an idea. How about you just let those caged animals go back to where they're from, right? If you can't afford to feed a giraffe, let it loose and bring it back to Africa. What? Justice for Fluffy. I get the practical idea of it all, but oof. All right. Anyhow, here we go. New reports. We want to build a nuclear reactor on the moon.
It's being dubbed the second space race, putting nuclear reactors on the moon. That's the plan from NASA, which is expected to be announced later this week.
Boy, they'll do anything not to release the Epstein files. They won't give us health care. They won't let us, take a few weeks off. When we have a kid, paid family leave, they're certainly going to say, you know what, we're just so busy, we need to generate power on the moon. How about a comprehensive healthcare plan? How about you take care of us and quit putting our money into foreign wars and moon? And by the way, I'm not saying I'm against the idea, but priorities? Here's what Neil deGrasse Tyson has to say about a nuclear power on the moon.
What does this mean to put a nuclear reactor on the moon?
It's not as bad as it sounds.
Because it sounds bad. It does.
Moon nukes.
Right.
Moon nukes is clickbait to the bank on that one. So first of all, there are plans to return to the moon. This is the Artemis program of NASA. It had a timetable where when you return to the moon, you need a way to, if you're going to stay on the moon, you need a source of energy. An obvious source of energy would be solar power, because the moon has it's 1 day on the moon lasts a month. There's two weeks of sunlight.
Right, so he gets into nerd talk. Either way, listen, no one's saying you're not going to need to power up your moon shoes and all the things when you're out there. What we're saying is there's lead in the pipes in Detroit. There isn't clean drinking water. People work more and get paid less. Let's figure that out first, and then you can do your moon projects. Well, Special Forces Season 4 has announced their cast literally moments ago. Let's go through it. Chanel Iman, a supermodel. They've got Randall Cobb, an NFL Pro Bowler. Johnny Manziel, who was an NFL bust. But I'll be excited to see how he does. Is there any redemption from Johnny Manziel? Former NFL quarterback. Christy Pierce Rampone, World Cup and Olympic soccer champion. They've got Andrew East, former NFL player, who is married to Sean Johnson. Then they've got Ravi Patel, actor. Brittany Cartwright, TV personality again, just going through the divorce from Jax on the Valley. very good to see her out there. And then Nick Young, NBA champion. They've got Shawn Johnson, Olympic gymnast, gold medalist, and also married to Sean East, or whatever that guy's name, West, whatever his name was. Gia Guidis, am I pronouncing that right? I don't think so. I kind of feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong. Guidis, who cares, right? She's there on the show. And then we've got Mark Estes, internet personality. Now, his claim to fame was he dated, what's her name? Calamari. Kristen Cavallari. Brianna Chicken Fry LaPaglia, internet personality at Barstool. She dated I don't want to get it wrong. She dated the country musician who tried to pay her $10 million to not talk about him. She denied. I really think she should have taken that money. Then she wouldn't have to, compete on this show. Then they got Jussie Smollett, the actor and singer who faked a hate crime. Now, he says it never happened, but I think the evidence speaks for itself. Then we have Eric Decker, former NFL player. Jesse James Decker, country music artist and married to Eric Decker. And then they've got Cody Brown, Teresa Guidis. I don't follow her. Eva Marcille, and I think that's it. So there's your season forecast of the show. What's it called? World's Toughest Special Forces. That's it. Boy, it's a good show. I get why they do it. It's only like a week of filming, and it's a lot of work, and it's people that have imposter syndrome that want to prove to themselves they still got it, right? That's basically what it is. All right, Dave Franco, he responds to the question about whether or not he would play Luigi in a biopic, or as some people call a biopic. Here's what he has to say.
My question for Dave is, since the entire internet wanted you to play Luigi Mangione in a movie, would you want to play him in a biopic if it was offered to you?
Oh, how do I answer this? No one has approached me about it yet. I'll say that. This is something that more people in my life reached out about this exact thing than anything else that has ever happened. Wow. Let's just say I'm open if it's the right people, and let's leave it at that.
There it is. All right, we'll have to see if he plays Luigi Mangione in a biopic. What a wild story. All right, male birth control is out. Anyone going to be racing to CVS to buy this?
Listen up, guys. Scientists have created the first male birth control pill without side effects, and it's reversible. YCT529 just cleared its first human safety test, and unlike traditional birth control pills that disrupt hormones, this experimental pill from Your Choice Therapeutics temporarily halts sperm production without affecting testosterone levels or sex drive.
Oh, boy. I mean, I appreciate it. I think the men should have as much of an onus on birth control as women, but are there any women out there that are going to trust a man when he's like, honey, don't worry about it, I'm on the pill? Like, I just don't think that that's going to happen. But by all means, have at it. But the female birth control pill, that's just terrible. That hormone thing, that's all over. That does terrible things to your body. Or not. For some people, it helps them, I guess. What do I know? I'm no doctor. Don't get your medical advice from me. But either way, yeah, the pill. Guys, we can all set our alarms for 9 p.m. We can get on. No more needing to tie your tubes. You can do it in the pill form. All right, what do you guys think about this? Hulk Hogan, a look-alike cloud runs wild in the Florida sky outside the legend's funeral. So Hulk Hogan passed away, and he's got this famous sort of move that he does. Do you see the resemblance here? This post was going viral. I mean, to be quite honest, it's not the, the Shroud of Turin by any means, but it's pretty good. If I were ever, if and when I pass, I don't know if my first move will be to create cloud formations of myself, but why not? We're all bundles of energy traveling through the ether, and we're spending a moment in these meat suits. Maybe afterwards you take it to the celestial skies. What do I know? All right. Well, I'm going to cover Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. But the last couple of days, I've taken some time to respond to some comments that people had, and there were some critical comments about my coverage, but the outpouring support, the outpouring love that I've received from you guys. Here's a sort of backhanded but really sweet comment that I wanted to read for you guys. This is from Dr. Deb. I'm a psychologist. I dislike your Animal Farm, totalitarian demo politics. Take Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, who have shown themselves to be perfect prototypes, and they are typical. By the way, I have no idea what any of that means. But I firmly disagree that you are not a very good man. that you are not ethical and moral to your values. I would trust you with anything were you in a relevant profession. You certainly have more character than most doctors, politicians, bureaucrats, etc. I deal with. You are honorable and no one can take that away from you. I get mad and unsub all the time, but I always come back, and I'm becoming a member later this month. Your wife and child are lucky to have you. I think this is one of those comments I got that like blindsided me, because at first it kind of started off like, I don't agree with you, and then it was like, but I still trust you, which is very, I mean, she doesn't trust me with my opinions, but she trusts me and knows that I'm doing the best. And I always say, you know, most people are trying the best with the information they have, and again, it just comes down to what kind of information do you have. But I thought that was a very kind comment. It was so sweet, you know. Don't sip the Kool-Aid from the haters and don't sip it from the lovers, because the truth is somewhere in between. But I really appreciated that. Well, Perez Hilton is being dunked on. This morning we covered Perez Hilton firing shots at the judge and at the attorneys for Blake Lively. Well, now they have responded. The motion before the court concerned an individual who, according to defendants, the agency group and redacted, has seeded, generated, created, or influenced social media content or provided related digital or social media services directly or indirectly at the request of or on behalf of any Wayfair party or their agents or affiliates. The specific individual who has acted at the request of or on behalf of the Wayfair defendants is Perez Hilton, a social media personality who has described himself as the original influencer. So they're really coming for him now. And by the way, I mean, they're smearing the hell out of him. Since August of 2024, Mr. Hilton created more than 500 pieces, that's a typo, 500 pieces of video content about Miss Lively, almost entirely disparaging, and about the same number of posts of sensational headlines. He has declared Miss Lively's allegations of retaliation non-existent and labeled Miss Lively a bully who lies and is trying to silence Justin Baldoni. Mr. Hilton's videos are punctuated by name-calling Miss Lively, coining mocking terms for her, including Blackface Blake, Lying Lively, Ku Klux Khaleesi, and Litigious Lively. Through his motion, Mr. Hilton seeks to preclude Miss Lively from learning which pieces of the avalanche of derogatory content described above was created at the request of or on behalf of the Wayfair defendants. Ooh, boy, they are throwing down. Now, by all means, I say, Perez Hilton, do what you got to do. Throw shade at them all you want, and they're going to do it in return. They represent someone who's worth far more money than he is, and he has every right to defend himself. Good for him. But does this do any good work for Blake Lively? I mean, she's just continuing to prod people to make lifetime enemies of her. That's really what it comes down to. When this case is over, she's got dozens of content creators that have big followings in the hundreds, thousands to the millions, and she's provoking all of them to hate her for life. Now, maybe she's on the right side of the story and she's just being smeared and she did no wrong and she's the victim, but like the evidence doesn't point there and everyone kind of sees it for what it is. Now, here we have reporters who get to see the behind the scenes stuff. Here are the reporters for Page 6 at Page 6 Radio, from left, Danny, Evan, and Mara, and they spill stories that they've never said before about personal encounters with Blake. This is not good for Blake. And just when you think the PR can't get worse, here it is.
I might not be Team Justin, but I'm firmly not Team Blake Lively. I'm anti-Lively.
Okay,
You're
yes.
anti-Lively.
And I'm neutral on him, I guess.
Gotcha.
But definitely not her.
I feel like a lot of people feel the same way that you feel in this situation. Yeah.
I've met her.
Oh,
Okay.
how was it?
Yeah, same. But I want to hear your experience.
How was it? Well, she met her and she's anti-Blake. I'm guessing it didn't go well.
She was. Oh my God, I've never actually told this story. I feel like her reps
You're page 6ing yourself.
It was when she did Cafe Society with Woody Allen.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We had a television show at the time, Page 6 TV.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was there with a camera. I had talked to a rep before. I really just needed her to answer like one thing.
Right.
On, that's all they wanted. I had been told what question to ask her. Normally we wouldn't do that. But again, like this was for television.
Yeah.
We just needed her to say something cute.
Right.
She had just done Age of Adeline. What do you love about the decade of the 30s, because cafe society happens it was like the 20s or 30s.
And by the way, tough answers. Just don't involve the Nazis and you're going to win. I mean, what an easy PR piece this is.
Her rep brings her over. I ask her this approved.
A question you would never care about Blake Lively's answer also. Hey, Blake! Yeah.
What do you like about the 1930s, Blake Lively? Like, who cares? Just tell me anything nice.
Yeah.
And she said to me, did you even see Age of Adeline? It doesn't just take place in the 30s. It takes place over 3 decades. And then she like stomped away. And I was sort of like,
are you kidding?
I did see Age of Adeline. I actually liked that movie. I watched it like twice.
But it did take place in the 30s at some points, right?
Yeah, it was the 20s or 30s. Like now I can't remember. It was one of those decades.
Also, her rep told you to say that.
Right. And whatever decade it was, I was correct at the time.
Oh my God.
And and I just found that to be very, like, listen, I'm doing.
So you've got Shirsta Flaw, right, who had her issue with Blake. I mean, literally all of these reporters are just doing their job. They're not paparazzi hounding Blake down. You know, they're like, Blake's doing her job, showing up to these events and then treating them, you know, rudely. And it's like, well, the pen is mightier than the sword. In this case, the podcast microphone is mightier than the sword.
A job, you're doing a job. It's your job to be on the red carpet.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so funny. I had a similar-ish experience. I went to the premiere of... Did we figured out what the movie premiere was?
I forget what it was.
But now we forget.
It starts with a P, maybe?
It was some film premiere
Poseidon.
at the SVA Theater down in Chelsea. And we were all there. All the reporters were there for Blake Lively. And she arrived late and she ended up skipping the carpet. And like collectively, we all revolted. Like, there's no way that we all came down here and Blake Lively didn't do the carpet. Oh, Savages. The movie was Savages. And that we turned into savages. We were like, get Blake out here.
Dude, yeah, imagine you get a babysitter, you leave your loved ones, you're working at night, you're missing your kids' dinner, Jimmy doesn't do his homework, so he becomes a flunk out. Also, you could ask Blake one stupid question and she doesn't even show up.
So her rep, I've had great experiences with her rep.
Me too. I love the rep. I just want to say that. I do.
There they are, hostage situation. We love the rep. The rep's great. No, we always want to work with a rep. Sure.
Love her.
Yes.
I hope she's not mad at me.
Leslie Sloan. We're talking about Leslie Sloan?
Yeah. I hope she's not mad at me.
I'm a fan of Leslie Sloan. I honestly am. And Leslie Sloan was like, all right, guys, like we'll bring her back. So we brought her back. And then she was like, but you get one question and it has to be pooled. Pooled means that you get to do the interview with others. It's not exclusive. So we all had to think of one question. And then everyone looked at me. And at the time, I was working for a print publication, one of the weeklies, and I actually didn't really have too much to ask.
He's like, what did you love about the 60s? Just decades questions.
Ask her. So I just picked one of our roundup questions for the week, which is a roundup question is like just like random questions you ask celebrities to put together on like one page of like, see what celebrity said about this certain topic. And it was like, how do you stay in shape? And I was like, how do you stay in shape?
It went better than you thought.
The year was 2012 when asking a question like that was still sort of okay. And so I asked her and she was like, I just eat cupcakes all day. And then that was it. And it actually did get a lot of pickup. And at the time I thought like, oh my God, that's so funny. She's so quirky. She just eats cupcakes all day. Like I'm the one who got to ask the question. We had a moment. But then when all of the interviews resurfaced where she was rude to report, where she was not so nice to reporters, I was like looking at it through a different lens and I was like, wait, was that just condescending? Was she dismissing me?
You know what? I feel she was actually rude to Mara. And I think for you, she was kind of like, I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah, I agree. One was rude. One was, man, she likes cupcakes. She was young. It was 13 years ago. She was in her mid-20s. When you're in your mid-20s, you can eat cupcakes and be okay with life. When you're my age, you have to eat keto cereal and have no joy. That's basically it. Coming up next, we've got some political talk as folks that went to the Representative Mike Flood's town hall in Nebraska revolt on him. It's going to be hilarious. You got to see this. And then Trump threatening to arrest Democrats. That's right, arrest them for having fled Texas so they didn't have to vote on a bill that is quite illegal. At the very least, it is baffling that they are trying to do what they're doing. We're going to get into all that. Stick around. That coming next.